Mwiko mwingi wa Kamiriithu mutiuke tunyitane.
Attempt to think that is the best chef because in Matthew 7:9 anasema hakuna pero yote hata kwa mrasta je anaweza mbona mtoi wake bread and stones. So uhitaji stones kuwa high, he's the most high. Yendo baba uhitaji nasa. Wachana gugudenja alimpa Solomon mawife na kukuwa na anasa. Si ataka uko low kid and nobody knows you exist. Dr. Jeremiah 1:5 ni kushow that he knew you even before he formed you in a mother's womb. Na kuko next to a person that needs to know Christ. Na una cha kumshow, then don't worry. Just pray kiasi and believe you me. Utakuwa na cha kumshow because in Jeremiah 1:9 anasema he has put his word in your mouth. Na kama umelose hope in life, nitakutake Jeremiah 29:11 ni kushow that he has good plans for you, plans to make you prosper, not to harm you, plans to give you an hope and a future. So sitaji kumtaja sana kwa hii piece because yeye ni every word got together in one piece. Si hata Sarah alijua yeye ndo mother of great generation hata before apande mtoto. So kwa unaomba God akupe mtoto then usikule moto. Na ukidhani education is the kingdom motto, ile ya Meshach, Shadrach na Abednego ndo ilikuwa moto sana. So kwa unasikizi wisdom unafaa kumsiku huyu God because ya shule haitoshi. Si ataka Solomon anaita Suleimani yeye kwenda shule na is the wisest man ever. Si atakama beta na bicep na six pack hakuta kitu unaweza ni show cause strength yako hizo kwa compare na ile ya Samson. Wachana na Idris Elba. Kama ni introduce to a man mwenye ako na class in both heaven and earth. Anaitwa Jehovah Jireh, alikuwa in the beginning na kwa hapa design. Wachana na ordinary. Huyu God afananishi na mwanadamu cause matendo yake ni extraordinary. Sali separate darkness from light, akaita darkness light na light day. Sali bless Elijah na Enoch na long life hadi wakienda heaven wakiwa alive. So kawe ni hustler, usiwari za tomorrow cause if it's even the bus that don't know how to find. That's I, Rico Tico.
Wow. Mchekiu msee akisema nitakuombea prosperity, alikuwa ananiangalia hapa. This second part is called the theater experience. The theater experience. Hii Kamiriithu. So kulikuwa na hizo mashida, there were those things that happened in the past. There was the suffering, there was the relocation, there was the detention, there was the killings. There was the suffering. Ngarau. She talked about the anger that people awake kula washibe na kupigwa na kukufa kwa factory. But then they developed a theater, the Kamiriithu theater. What was it? How did it go? Hiyo ndio theme tunaangalia sasa hivi. Na kutufungulia uwanja sasa ni UNTT mmoja ambaye akona spoken word. Ni nani huyo? Ako wapi? Bring yourself here. Oh, you are the one. How are you, sir? I have not met you. Eh? You've met me before. Thank you very much. Mpigie makofi.
My name is Odur Sam and my stage name is LM. So I'm going to talk about adulting. Adulting ni kuwa na mentality that kurudia nguo is a simple proof that hizo manguo ni zako. Adulting ni kurealize that in life you don't need a user guide. Instead ni unafaa kujiguide kama user. Adulting ni kama exams za plumber, hainanga leakage. Adulting ni tricky design, unashindwa ukifanya kazi ya kuosha choo utapata mshahara ama utapata mabeshte zako wa shahara. Adulting ni kurealize that mtu akikutumia pesa na kuulize kama umepata anamaanisha you're not grateful. Adulting ni kurealize that kama unafanya ICT ukishikwa utahitaji haka na utampea money unless unataka kwenda mahakamani. Adulting ni kurealize that unaweza jipata umeiba wall clock kwa church na ukwe convinced that God's time is the best. Adulting ni kurealize that ukitranslate imani inakuwa faith, lakini bila hii imani siku hizi huwezi pata faith. Adulting ni kurealize that For my own sanity, nitamsave fasihi ndo nikimtext asipo reply simulizi. Adulting ni kurealize that kufinya hiyo laptop haitakupea $1, but ndo ufike top lazima umjue Mola. Thank you.
Kamiriithu afterlives. Lakini hapo mahali ya kufinya laptop hatuko pamoja. Mimi niko na hapo. Mimi natoka Texas. Finya laptop hivi dola zinakuja. Thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and we welcome the Kamiriithu youth. Watu wa Kamiriithu mlikuwa mnaongea kuhusu mashamba, kioru na ukora yake ya kuiba, jana yake kuweka watu mimba na kusema igoti ni yake, na hiyo mambo, hilo mashida mlikuwa nazo, si ndio? Je, sisi sasa in the Kamiriithu afterlives tunajua shida za vijana ni nini? What are the problems of the youth? What the challenges do they face? Hebu tuone vijana wa Kamiriithu wakituonyesha mchezo kwa jina Airbnb. Airbnb. Rudi after me. Airbnb. Asante.
Kama karibu ndio panajua sana sisi wikaapi. Gai. Ana shidia woke ate. Usiore. Ni adio ago kimaisa make ugu. Tamakabia ciothe witerera njohi-ini. Mutaro-ini ona nginya thaa ici ario mutaro. Ndangieterera. Wakama utondo ni nyuma na wira ri. Ekenya bethi uguo ona gakombe ni ngukurehera hwa-ini we ndukamake. Ni sawa reke ngukinyira haha. Tuthie.
Unaona? Na mambo ya wanaume, wacha.
Nitachana nayo.
Kabisa.
Sitaki
kuona na wanaume. Kwanza sitaki mambo hii ya kuchelewa.
Sawa, sitachelewa.
Mbona nikusindikize hivi kwanza ukienda shule? Unasikia mtoto wangu?
So, nakumbuka jana ametuacha tulibishwa.
Tuliona. Nini mnanisha hivyo?
Mimi ladies umeng'ara hivi. Poa lakini uko poa zaidi.
Mimi. Sina kuanga hivyo.
Hatujakuzoea uking'ara.
Sasa wacha niwaambie. Nimeng'ara hivi juu. Tena niko na date.
Who's the lucky person?
The one and only Fazur.
Wait. Ule ni boti mwenye wanangoa?
Si ndio.
Wait.
Kale kafupi. Wewe si kafupi na usikaito kafupi.
But ni sawa. So usomi we masomo
Azi, sasa nimelipwa office so I don't need that.
Sawa ladies.
Nataka kufanya saino, kwa saino leo si gani.
Okay. Sawa. Wait. Tumesema mna meet saa ngapi?
Tuna meet 9.
Na wait, ndio Fazuri. Wait. Usitumie picha. Make sure.
Hey, look at me. Hey, Zubuka. Manzejo. Hey, look at you. Sitli, manze sinakaa poa.
Asante.
Manze, umetoka wapi? Home ama heaven?
Nimetoka heaven.
Manze, sitoende kijani sasa. Najua, sitaki wase watu waone hizi maeria, you know. Sitoende hivi, you know.
Wapi kwako?
Yeah. Sindio? So, I got you, manze. Hey, welcome. So, utakunywa nini? Utakunywa chai, makali, niko na juice.
Unataka juice?
Walai? Sahi. So,
Thank you.
leo ni leo, mimi na wewe.
Sasa?
Nimekumiss manze.
Na nini yake?
Unajua nilipewa story yako na nani?
Na nani?
Ule best yako anaitwa Ella.
Yeah, I know.
Manze jo, acha nifunge mlango juu. Sitaki majirani wasikie.
Atasikia nduru.
Yeah. Fanya aje? Shika hii simu.
Niweke namba yangu.
Kama namba ya mzazi wako sahi.
Namba ya-
Nini?
Kisu.
Kwa
nini nimekuja kukumbia
si ya kukatia kiza, hii si ya kukatia. Nipigie mamako. Nataka 20,000. Sahi. Fanya. Hai, usiniulize maswali, madam. Sawa? Nini?
Kisu.
Si ya kukimbia.
Hello, mom. Hello, skini mehajakiwa. Nimetekwa nyara.
We, madam. Sikiza. Nataka 20,000 sahi. Na steki. 20,000 na usiambie polisi kama unataka mtoto wako alive. Sawa? Si unataka sahi? Haya, nataka 20,000. Tunatoa ni mimi unauliza in 20 minutes, in fact nataka 100,000 in 20 minutes. Sawa, unataka mtoto wako alive. Msikize hapa. Sawa? Sahi. Na isifikie polisi dakika kibao. Sahi. Sawa. Na wewe ukilia hapo, sawa? Hello, madam, umepata 100,000.
Ndio natafuta.
Ati ndio unatafuta? 5 minutes ndio unatafuta. In fact, fanya aje? Huyu anakata simu huyu. Huyu madam kwani ya kusema.
Ananipenda.
Dakika zikiisha utakuwa. Sawa. Umetokea wapi? Ni nani? Sawa.
Ni wakati wa panel, and I would like this panel to dedicate this panel kwa mazungumzo, tusikie sauti za vijana. I would like to hear the voices of the youth. What did it mean to you? Ambayo ulikuwa hapa ukifanya mambo ya press na mengine. What does theater mean to you? Did theater mean to you then and now?
Thank you very much. I want to speak briefly about the Kamiriithu Theater. Wakati huo nilikuwa na kamera na nilikuwa nahusika na kupiga picha. Most of the photographs that appear on Kamiriithu and the actors and the actresses, I took them. Goge Wathiongo and I, and my family, have been friends for some time, and this is how I got involved in the theater group.
Margaret, yes. Let me ask you. You were not in the first cast of Kamiriithu, but you came to watch the play, right? Yes. What did it mean to you when you saw it? What wakiwa pale stage? Ulijihisi aje?
I was very excited when my mother would say that their veins were being straightened by the dance, by the acting and everything. I thought there was something going, and I was impressed. Okay, the play was really addressing those issues which were happening within the community and even without the community, which were really oppressing the peasants and workers. And it kind of was giving the people involved arms to fight whoever was oppressing them. Hence the reaction by the government. Theater has always been a tool, voice for the voiceless, and it continues to.
Do you want to talk about your own theater journey in 1 minute?
I was acting at school. I liked acting, I liked dancing, I liked, but that time it didn't have a lot of meaning until I met those who opened up my eyes. But I guess they opened them too much because I ended up being married by the director.
So theater opened your eyes too much. You ended up?
Too much.
Yeah? You ended up marrying the director?
And I'm proud about it.
And you're proud about it?
I don't regret.
Mwalimu Kimengich, you've worked with members of this community over the last, how many months?
1 month, I think.
1 month. You have got a lot of experience in theater. What is it? What is it about theater and communities? What is it about specifically this experience that you had, and from your own general knowledge about what does theater then do in terms of the decolonial project?
Okay, thank you. You said we talk for 1 or 2 minutes. I'll choose the 2 minutes. Let me give it a historical background a bit. That during colonialism, there was insistence that Africans could only perform cultural dances, with assumption that these ones could not incite people to protest or do anything. Of course, that was a misnomer too, because our songs have always had political messages, whether it's composition songs or anything. But that was the idea. And then when we got independence, earlier they insisted that we only do Shakespearean plays. Again, the messages will look foreign to us, so then we don't have to identify ourselves with the message and what is being propagated there. But as you know, eventually even in a drama festival, that was Africanized, so that they will perform plays created by Africans themselves. And perhaps that is what was frightening here, because people have always experimented with theater and to see what it can do. And here, when they realized these were not even people in classrooms or anywhere. They were ordinary villagers who were coming up with plays that reflected so much of what was happening around them. And if they were that aware about their surrounding, and therefore they were thinking of solutions through their performances and seeking ways of how to deal with it. That really frightens government. And it's not just before, up to now. You can see that people will seek to ban plays that seem to touch on certain things. And of course, I want to be grateful to this village for producing someone who has become a national and international hero. And we have always had a relationship between the Department of Literature and this place. Remember, the free traveling theater started in 1976. And you see where the performance also started here. It means we have always had a relationship with the free traveling theater and here. And the idea of the free traveling theater was to take the theater outside the ivory tower, outside the university, so that it can engage communities and perform in local languages. Now that lies the second danger, because colonialism had made us think that English was the only language that could be used to transmit important messages. Here were plays being acted in Kikuyu and done by villagers. That already was frightening to powers that were. So then it meant they could not allow them to go ahead. And therefore theater has always had this powerful thing of, we say in our, like other arts, it's really human beings who come on stage. So therefore you see a lot of yourself in them, and that frightens people, that actually are enacting the things they don't want ordinary people to know. And that where that lies the power of theater.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Kamiriithu, Ella, you are starting off in theater. What is it that is attracting you? And what do you think theater does for you and for community?
Hi, my name is Ella Kamau. For me, theater is opportunities. Theater is a chance to like prove the skills you have, the talents you have out here. For me, this has been a great opening for me. I'm a dance choreographer by profession, and also I've currently learned that I can act a bit. So once you find a platform that enables you to showcase your talent, that shows it's bringing more opportunities to the youth. Because most of the youth right now, if you don't give them opportunity, they'll run to drugs, they'll run to other things that won't be of help to them. But through theater, you can get opportunities. Like right now, we have been getting teachings from our teachers, the ones and the choreographers, both on set and out of set, because they have been interacting with us. What do you do in life? How do you think you can improve yourself through theater? And for me, this has been a great opportunity.
Do you think the Kamiriithu theater should get a renaissance, a new beginning, a new life?
Yeah, it can, with the help of everyone, both the community, us the youth, the older people, because we need knowledge from them. We need to know what they used to do. We need to bring our modern selves into the theater and also the past, so that we can, all of us, we can be able to bring up something. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Ask anybody. Ask these people, ask the actors from Kamiriithu who are here about theater.
Listening to the productions, to the narrations by the legends, those who lived through the life of the colonialist, the subjugation, the mistreatment, all those things. They are here with us, they saw it all. Now, we know that other disciplines in the academia can do so much about what goes on in the lives of the people. But theater brings it home all the time. And going back to what used to happen at Kamiriithu here, one would only want to imagine that all of us in our different stations would want Kamiriithu replicated. Just like Ngugi wa Thiong'o himself would advocate, let's take it out there to the people And like Dr. Kimingiji has said it, we got person down there. Let them feel it. Because then theater is what will bring these things out. Theater is what will speak to power as it were, so that we would have a better society. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Sheila, and I'd like to ask the community, how do you feel about Christianity? From the play, it seems that it's obvious that it affected African life. So is it only philosophy for philosophy's sake? Or, for example, right now before break time, the spoken word was in line with Christianity. So how do you feel as Africans who have independence and are still heavily defined by the Christian religion?
Kulingana na ithako riu ria Ngai Kadeda, raini cia ukristiano ni cia tuthomithirie muno maundu maingi, na tukiona pio dini ni ihotomagia mwena umwe, ihotomagia na njira iriku. Ungitikania na dini kuria mwena uria, mwena uyu ungi ni wathukania na wahotoma. Koguo dini, ithako riu ria tuonagia dini ni nyanyasaga, ni hinyagiriria muthini. Undu wakorwo na ciringi 10 urumirie mathuti, hari urerwo ria gicunji kiu githie mwena uria ungi, kirio ni andu angi, we otigwo na ng'aragu na ndukorie Ngai ni ariuka. Riu ndeto yo wathi uguo ukimiguaga ukagia na woje wa mwena umwe wa dini, ti njuru ni njega, no ni cia kuhinyiriria. Uguo niguo ingiuga.
Thank you very much.
My name is Omwa. I am a student at the University of Nairobi. You are part of the audience then. How was the audience like? Were they booing you? There are a lot of people in the audience. How was the audience?
The audience was composed of everybody, not just Kamiriithu people. They were coming from all the neighboring villages, and some actually even from Murang'a. People were positive towards that initiative because it was addressing their problems. And even the songs which were being used, they are songs which they knew. Nothing was new, but you needed to hear the way forward. And theater was able to address that.
Well, it's also good, maybe just to add, the play was a movement that created curiosity. Remember, Ngugi was also teaching in the university. So you had even students thronging, to come and watch. It was a movement that, that reached even the national government. Everybody, I think, from the village would flock. You remember when he says that he used to lead a song, the play used to start especially when people have left work. Most of them were in the butter shoe company, from the tea plantations. And so people, the villagers from even neighboring villages, as she specifies, so many people used to throng. Almost 3,000, 5,000 people used to attend. And these were just the rehearsals in the first place before they started staging the entire play. Molly.
Thank you. Give the mic to the gentleman there, and then we go to my friend after that.
Yes, thank you very much. And again, my name is Mea from the Social Justice Center's Traveling Theatre that is based in Nairobi. And for us as a theatre team right now in this generation, we face a lot of challenges with the law enforcers. Na mara nyingi huwa hata tunakimbizwa tukiwa tunaperform. And at some point, we've performed in front of an audience that consists of police officers, OCS, people who have power. And whenever we address such issues, they'll come out and tell us to change our perspective because for them, we do not make sense. But to the community, we do make sense. So my question is, maybe I'll direct this to Sam, to you. So what was your experience What was your experience with the law enforcers? How was the experience? Did you get a lot of, shall I say, atakukuwa harassed? Do you get a lot of harassment from the police, manhandling and something like that?
The harassment wasn't an open, it wasn't something they did it openly. Some policemen would study, they would attend a performance like Gogo Wadiongo's performance, and later tell the supervisors what was happening, what was discussed. Even in the Writers Association of Kenya, we had some people who were attending, not because they were interested in what was going on, but because they tell their bosses what they had done and what they had achieved and what the group was about.
Art has always been in opposition to establishment. That's almost a norm. When you feel that you are so much aligned to the government, then there's something wrong. There's a poet, Bertolt Brecht, who say a poem called "Burn My Books," where a poet is begging the government to ban his books because if you don't do that, it means you're doing their job. So you always have to be in opposition with the establishment. That is almost how we expect it, in order for you to know that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And that will go on forever, because art is supposed to be on the opposition all the time.
Thank you, the Kamiriithu Society, for, I think this is what I would call post-independence resistant movement, because you are still informing people who were born just the other day that these people really oppressed us. But now I have only two questions, one for Madam Wairimu, the actress. You mentioned, I think in the video, that your parents did not expose the education of girl child. What were the parents telling you for not taking you to school? Like if you were a girl during that time and your parent is telling you, oh, you know, I'm not taking you to school. What was the reasoning behind that? I don't know whether you'd tell that. Let me ask the next question so that you start answering. I got the opportunity to talk to the gentleman next to Wamboa.
Sam.
Yes. It was like if you had, for example, 6 acres of land, it was seized by the colonial masters. And when they finally exit the stage, you are left as a squatter, and then the same land is sold back to you. Was this the government or people that were given your land by the government, or who is this who took your land after the colonial masters exited the stage? And are they still staying there now that we have guys that were there during the independent time?
Thank you. Did the colonial masters leave?
I went to school. My parents, my father did, but my mother didn't. Because during those days, the many girls you had, the richer you were, because they were only being bred. Is it bled or bread? I'm a Kikuyu. For marriage. Therefore, my mother was one of those culprits who never went to school. And it was accepted. It's not just her family. All girls that time were not going to school. No wonder they decided they would take all their children to school. Don't I look educated?
Swali ni shamba yako 6 acres uko nayo, mzungu akakuja akachukua, mzungu akaenda, alafu serikali ikakuuzia hiyo shamba. Kama uko na pesa ununue, kama una inapewa mtu mwingine. Nani huyo wa serikali alikuwa anauza shamba? That's the question. Nani huyo alikuwa anakuuzia shamba yako?
Kwanza tuelewe kwamba mashamba yote wenyewe walihamishwa wakaletwa kwa villages. Mashamba yakawa ya wazungu. au serikali ya wakati huo. Baadaye walipotoka detained, wale walikuwa detained, wakaja wakakuta mashamba yao yamejengwa na watu wengine. Sasa ikawa wamegawiwa kidogo kidogo, kama ni hiyo eka 6. Unakuta mwingine ameondolewa hapa, alikuwa hapa Kamiriithu, amepelekwa pengine mbali kulingana na vile walikuwa wakipima. Hivyo kama ulienda mahali pengine kama huko upande wa Manguo, na wewe unajua shamba yako huko upande huu, unafanya vile utafanya angaa urudi upande wako. Kwa hivyo uuzaji na ununuzi ulitoka zaidi hapo.
Okay. Thank you very much. Nolera kwaria kaundo. Mwe Mike, daika mwe. Ndio to transition.
As I would say, during that time of the colonialists, remember my grandfather, and another grandfather of mine by the name Kamiriithu were the ones who were given permission by the colonialists to demarcate those chambers. And as the little experience I have of that time is that most of the chambers were grabbed or were looted by the home guards. And probably you would suppose, if your father happened to be working at Nairobi, they used to be bribed with blankets. And they were the ones who were deciding how many acres you are going to be given. Even this village, by that time, it was not reallocated to these people. They were brought here so that they may be molested by the colonists and the home guards. That means your father had to put a lot of effort so that his children may be able to get some few lands. Those who are lucky enough, they might probably to get about 20 acres, 1 acre, 6 acres, and so forth. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So it was ukora juu ya ukora. Mkoloni amechukua, Waafrika wanachukua, wanagawa, yule mtu ukiwa na blanketi unagawiwa.
Kwa majina naitwa Minocha, nimetoka pia the Social Justice Center Traveling Theatre. Nilikuwa nataka kuuliza our former actors wa Kamiriithu wali make sure that of course we understand that kila kitu walikuwa wana act ni some need of resistance. Wali make sure that the people own these problems. How was it owned by the community? And also, did they witness it form any kind of resistance?
Tuseme kwamba hii play haikuendelea. Kwa hivyo hatukuwa tumeonja utamu wake. Hatukuwa tumekaa chini tuseme tutafanya hivi kwa sababu hatukuendelea zaidi. Ilikuwa shows ndogo, sio nyingi, tukakuta tumekatazwa kuendelea. Kwa hivyo hatukuwa tumefanya chochote cha kukaa chini tujadiliane.
Mwiko mwingi wa Kamiriithu mutiuke tunyitane